We're working on a General Pump TS2021. We're going to take a look at the best way to overhaul the wet end of the pump. First thing I'm going to do is to remove this pressure line running from the pump to the unloader, and then we're going to take the valve covers loose and extract some valves and look at them. The conditions under which you would extract these valves would be for an overhaul or rebuild, or to look for foreign material in the valves if your pump was running roughly. So to begin with, we'll remove this line using an 8-inch crescent wrench or adjustable wrench. Okay. Then using a breakover with a 30mm socket, we'll remove the valve covers. At this point, I'm going to go ahead, remove the valve covers and the valves. If you suspected that you had foreign material stuck in your valve due to the fact that you were getting a rapid pulsation in your pump, what you would do is remove these valves first and inspect them for foreign material. As you can see, I'm using a pair of needle nose pliers. Just reach in and grasp the end of the valve and pull it out. Careful not to get wet while you're doing it. To test the valve, you visually inspect it for foreign material, then place it to your lips and blow through it. You should be able to blow. Then try to suck back through it. You should not be able to suck back through it. If you can, it's because the valve's not seated correctly, and you need to work on it or replace it. Go through this, repeating through all 6 of them. For the purpose of this is as far as I'm going to go. Just removing those 3. Removing the top is the same thing. They're identical, and you do it the same way. All right. Next thing to do is remove the head bolts. Using a 3/8 drive ratchet, short extension, and a 1/2-inch socket. I pre-loosened these bolts so they'll come off fairly easily. There was one I hadn't loosened. Once you get them all fairly loose, you can lay the ratchet aside and just use your extension and socket kind of like a nut driver and remove them. Once you get them so loose, they'll just pull on out. Don't use air tools doing this. either taking it apart or putting it back together. As you have the potential of damaging the pump. Not so much so when you're taking it apart as when you're putting it back together. But I find if you have the tendency to use them when you're taking it apart, then sometimes you forget and just go ahead and use it to put it back together. When that happens, you'll run the risk of over-tightening the screws, and if you do that, you'll cause damage to the pump. Okay, all 8 are removed. Next, we're going to remove the head from the pump. There's several different ways you can do that. I'm going to attempt to do it by just grasping the head and pulling out on it with a gentle rocking motion to see if I can't get it to come on out. As you can see, it came right on off. No problem at all. And if you notice, some of the packing remained on the pump, on the plungers. What we have here is the packing retainers and the packing. I'm just going to place them right up here on the top of the pump.